Ohayo gozaimasu. Dozo yoroshiku, Chalaby desu. I can continue in Japanese if you want. I lived here in Tokyo for a year and learned a little bit. Anyway, as Cherine said, it's so good to be back in Japan. It's been a very, very long time, and we're really grateful to our host for welcoming us here in Kobe. Yukichi Fukuzawa, acclaimed by many as the true founder of modern Japan, completed his best-known work, Encouragement of Learning, in 1876. He wrote, "Those who do not proceed shall go backward, and those who do not go backward shall proceed." These words ring true today as they did 143 years ago. Simply put, organizations that do not evolve are left behind. ICANN's role is key in the expansion and evolution of the Internet, so it cannot allow itself to be left behind. In the next 5 years, ICANN will face more external challenges than ever before. We need to plan for these challenges now, not only because we must, but because our bylaws mandate that we have a new strategic and operational plans in place by July 2020. Together, we have been working on these plans, and together, we need to embrace the conditions upon which their successful implementation depends. In order to have enough time to prepare for implementation, by July 2020, we need to finalize these plans by December 2019, 9 months from now. Time, therefore, is of the essence. We have a lot to do in the coming months to give us the best chance of success and take ICANN where we want it to be. It will not be easy, and our volunteers, on whom we depend, have a very busy workload, but I'm confident we can do it. This is the focus of my remarks this morning. Our history shows that progress is not possible without change. Our founders, and one of them is here today, understood this because they set up ICANN to be a living organization with bylaws, structure, and processes designed to evolve. It is not surprising, therefore, that change is the law of life at ICANN, whether we look to the past, the present, or the future. And when we look to the future, we can see strong winds of change coming our way, such as the rise in cyber sovereignty, the exponential growth in security threats, the rapid evolution of disruptive technologies, and the increasing risks of Internet fragmentation. The community, the board, and ICANN.org have recognized that these winds of change could have a significant impact on ICANN. If we allow them to sweep over us, ICANN could be blown in a direction that is inconsistent with our strategic plan. Our strategy is defined in the following documents. First, a new strategic plan for fiscal years 2021 to 2025 was published for comment last December. Our new operating and financial plan for the same fiscal years will be published for comments this coming December. And work on our governance plan to improve the effectiveness of our multi-stakeholder model started in Barcelona and will continue here in Kobe. These 3 plans, once completed, will be comprehensive and far-reaching. Executed well, they will evolve and improve our approach to security, governance, unique identifier systems, geopolitics, and financials. Now let me share with you where we are on each plan, what we need to do to finalize them, and the conditions for success. First, the new strategic plan. I mentioned earlier that the plan was published and the comment period has closed. It is likely that some changes to details could result from discussion with the community here in Kobe on the comments received. Notwithstanding these changes, our overarching strategic direction is clear. It consists of a new vision, an unchanged mission, and 5 new strategic objectives. Our new vision for ICANN is to be a champion of the single, open, and globally interoperable Internet and the trusted steward of its unique identifiers. Our 5 strategic objectives are to strengthen the security of the DNS, improve the effectiveness of our multi-stakeholder model, evolve the unique identifier systems, address geopolitical issues impacting ICANN's mission, and ensure long-term financial sustainability. We will finalize the strategic plan at the latest by ICANN65 in Marrakesh, having considered the community's comments. We will also allow for later adjustments that could result from the operational and financial plan once completed. The board believes that this new strategic plan is bold and decisive. As a condition for success, its implementation will require an unwavering commitment from all of us to see it through. The strategic plan has to be a living document and not forgotten in a drawer. It must be revisited at planned intervals and adjusted when necessary. To succeed, we must believe in the strategy and follow it with our collective strengths and will. Next, let me update you on our second plan. Since the beginning of January, ICANN.org has been working on a 5-year operating and financial plan that will show how and at what cost we will implement our chosen strategy. In order to engage with the community at a digestible pace and finalize this plan by December 2019, ICANN.org will release the plan for public comment in 2 parts. There will be a high-level version by June, followed by the fully developed plan by December 2019. As a condition for success, we must make sure that collectively we have the leadership, management, technical know-how, and financial strengths required to implement the 5-year roadmap laid out by this plan. It will not happen by default. We're going to have to work together as a community to identify and address any resource gaps. While the success of this operating and financial plan lies primarily with ICANN, excuse me, we all know that ICANN does not operate in a vacuum. Collaborating with our partners, the regional internet registries, the root server operators, the engineering task force, the Internet Engineering Task Force, and others, and working with them to achieve common goals will become important to our success, such as when addressing security threats and when evolving the Internet's unique identifier systems. For this collaboration to work, we must be flexible and recognize that sometimes ICANN will take the lead, while at other times our partners will take the lead. Finally, let me update you on our third plan. If you recall, one of the 5 objectives of our new strategic plan is to improve the effectiveness of our multi-stakeholder model. To be clear, a multi-stakeholder model is working, as evidenced by the recent success of the ICANN community through the EPDP. Our community delivered a consensus policy recommendation under tight and unprecedented deadlines. A big thank you to all of those who got involved with the EPDP. However, as ICANN continues to evolve, as our environment becomes more complex and higher in risk, aspects of our governance must also evolve, whilst avoiding any compromise of our deeply valued, bottom-up and inclusive decision-making process. You would agree with me that this objective is not new, as over the years, we have often expressed the need to improve both the efficiency and effectiveness of our governance. That said, evolving our governance cannot happen in a haphazard way. We need a plan. And we need all of us to be engaged in developing it, gradually and carefully. The board therefore proposes a 2-step approach. Step 1, identify the issues. And step 2, map out the responsibilities and timeline for addressing them. It is worth emphasizing that the scope of step 2 is just limited to the development of a work plan. We are not, and I repeat, we are not at this stage looking at finding solutions nor at implementing them. These will come later, beginning fiscal year 2021. I want to talk about each one of these steps now. The board at ICANN64 in Barcelona initiated step 1 when it started a community-wide dialogue to obtain initial inputs on this topic. Discussion with the community in multiple fora revealed several common threads. We will share with you these threads and these comments this week. Here in Kobe, we want that dialogue to continue to make sure we hear all stakeholders and have a fuller understanding of the issues. The dialogue will take place in a face-to-face session on Thursday. Our discussions will be bottom-up and will be facilitated by Brian Cute, a long-time member of our community. My board colleagues and I look forward to participating in these discussions as part of the larger community. After Kobe, an issues paper reflecting the discussions will be published for comment. And based on the feedback we receive, an approach to step 2 for mapping out the details of our governance plan will be proposed to the community. The plan should answer 3 questions. First, which of the issues identified in step 1 have broad community support? 2, who will be responsible for addressing them? And 3, when will they be addressed? Work on this plan should proceed at a digestible pace. We should, for example, begin in Marrakesh, continue in Montreal, and ideally, we would all agree to produce a draft plan by December 2019 in time for costing and integrating it within the operating and financial plan which I mentioned earlier. We should also be aware that there are dependencies to consider and respect, as a number of activities that are currently underway will contribute inputs to this governance plan, including, for example, the GNSO work on PDP 3.0, some of the Work Stream 2 recommendations, as well as any ongoing third accountability and transparency review. The board understands that developing this governance plan could have its challenges, because there could be a natural resistance to evolving our governance, as changes could affect the processes, culture, and working methods that we are accustomed to. In other words, changes to our DNA. And because we need to prioritize this plan and find a way of developing it over the next 9 months without overburdening our volunteers who already have a busy schedule. As a condition for success, we must address these challenges. At the same time, we cannot ignore that for ICANN to remain relevant and successful, we will need to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of our governance in a timely manner. In closing, let me sum up. By December 2019, we will have in our hands 3 plans to shape ICANN's future. We will begin implementation of these plans in July 2020, as mandated by our bylaws. Time is of the essence, and we have a lot to do in the next 15 months to prepare and give ourselves the best chance of success. Our CEO will lead the implementation of most of these plans, but we cannot lay the entire responsibility for success at his doorstep. The board and the community will work hand in hand with our CEO and share that responsibility. Over the past 20 years, our community has demonstrated its resilience and its ability to pull together at decisive points in our history. We are now at another decisive point. Strong winds of change are blowing our way. We must take change by the hand and continue to evolve. It will not be easy, but we will succeed, as we have done in the past. We owe this to the billions of internet users and to future generations. I want to thank you all for your participation in ICANN. The board is aware of the relentless demand on your time and appreciates the sacrifice you make. Without your support, we could not make our plans a reality. Your work here in Kobe is key to our success, and I wish you a very productive week. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you.